Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Think Big with Michael Zellner. All positive, no politics. My guest today is Lonisa. Is that right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Also known as Layla. Lonisa Bowen. She is the owner of the Sift Bakery, which is a one-woman bakery consisting of just her. Sift Bakery specializes in one thing, and that is making the best macaron that you've ever tasted in your life. If you've never heard of a macaron, which she will explain the difference today between a macaron and a macaroon, which most people definitely have heard of. You'll hear all about it today. So welcome to the show.
Oh, nice to be here.
Thank you so much. So tell us something interesting about yourself that most people don't know.
Um, I guess I love to bake, obviously. Um, I'm a wife and a mother, and I take very much pride in making macarons for sure.
So when when I first saw the Sift Bakery, I saw it on Instagram. I saw the word macaron, and of course, I'm sure that like many people, I thought I confused it for macaroon. And I saw your pictures and thought, man, those look so good. But I don't like coconut. So I was like, oh man, there's no way I can ever have one of those because there's coconut in them. And then I looked up macaron and found out how thankfully wrong I was. I know you probably get this question a lot, but for the audience that doesn't know the difference between the two, what can you explain that so they understand, please?
Macaroon is spelled with two O's, and it's pretty much the coconut cookie itself. And then you have macaron, which is spelled with one O, and it's pretty much almond flour, eggs, and sugar. So that is the difference between the two.
In the mid 2010s, you were first given a macaron to try. It obviously had a huge impact, on your life, and you probably didn't even know it at the time, but it would change your life.
Yes.
What was going through your mind as you had your first one? Because obviously the wheels were spinning in your brain with some thoughts there.
Yes. I was like, what is this magic in this little bitty cookie? And a coworker was like, oh yeah, I bought them at this little bakery. And I was like, oh, you have to bring some more tomorrow. And she was like, well, they're really expensive. And I'm like, they can't be that expensive. And she told me, I was like, don't worry about it. I know how to bake. I'll bake us some. And then I tried to go home and bake them. And I was like, oh, this is not just the average cookie. Like, it's some science to this.
Right.
So that's when the struggle began. Definitely.
You call yourself a self-taught baker. That might sound like it's an easy thing for some people, to do that, but it's not at all. Tell us a little bit about how you've been able to become so good at baking and all the hard work that you've put into it over the years.
Basically not giving up. Macarons have definitely been a challenge. You get used to perfecting the recipe, and then that's at home. Then you grow, your business grows, and then you go into a commercial kitchen. And I've been having hiccups along the way, which has shown me a lot and has taught me a lot. I have changed 3 commercial kitchens. So each kitchen has a different oven. So you have to adjust your recipe for that. And then we grew from having Kitchenaid mixers to now we mix in one big mixer. So we had to change. So it's just constant science to these cookies. Like, I don't think people are aware of. And that's why I firmly like tell myself and tell others that I'm a self-taught baker. I'm still learning to this day.
After trying your first macaron, you decided obviously you were going to go for this. You spent about, I think, 2.5 years working hard to create a recipe that, that you knew that would sell well. And you felt you were ready. And in 2016, I believe you signed up, for a festival. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of days before the festival, you had to back out. What happened?
I don't know. Looking back now, I wasn't probably using the proper pans. I kind of signed up for it and I was like, oh, I got it, and bought larger pans so I can make more faster. And it hurted me. Like, I couldn't produce not one cookie. And that was the wake-up call. Like, don't just assume you have it and then you make plans. Like, you have to make sure you prepare far ahead and make sure okay, if anything else goes wrong, like you're prepared for that. So that's definitely was my wake up call then.
You put a lot of time, energy, heart, and I'm sure a lot of money into this. And in 2017, you actually stopped for a while. Your husband must be a really incredible man and loves you dearly and very supportive, because he wouldn't let you give up on your dream. What did he do to help encourage you and help you?
Um, he he bought me my first KitchenAid mixer. I had been struggling for so long with the hand mixer that I just could not get it. And I didn't want him to spend that much money because KitchenAid mixers are very expensive. And I was just like, I don't want you to spend that much money on something that I don't even think I'm gonna be able to figure out, you know? So I put it off and put it off. And then one day for our anniversary, he gave it to me. And he was like, hey, like, this is what you need. Now see if you can figure it out. And not even 2 weeks later, I got it. Like it happened. And I was just like, wow, like a mixer makes a difference. Like it definitely does.
How did you and your husband meet?
Oh, we met at work. We met at work in 2009. Yes, and we got married in 2011.
Were y'all working at the time?
Technicolor. This was years ago. Yes.
And you said you have one child?
We actually, as a family whole, we have four.
Oh, okay,
and we
good.
have two together.
Oh, awesome. What are they like?
They're wonderful kids. We have a 19-year-old, a 14, a 12, and a 7. They're definitely spaced out.
Yes, that's good. We have full-time babysitters there too. Absolutely.
Well, one is in college, so she's really not paying attention to us right now.
Right.
The other one is more focused on football. He's trying to, figure that out. And then we have the two younger two. One is in middle and one is in elementary. So totally two different kids right now.
I understand. So, after you got that mixer and everything, it's like you said, you got back at it hard. You said you did a ton of research, and actually making the macarons was therapeutic for you. You said, quote, I failed tremendously. I tried and wound up getting it. What was it like that moment when you figured out I got it?
I was jumping in the kitchen. Like I was crying, I was screaming, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to get too excited. I got to do it again. Like I have to try it again. And I tried it again and I got it. And I think I did it like 4 or 5 more times. I created a whole new recipe just to make sure it just wasn't like beginner's luck. And I got it. And my husband was like, okay, what are we doing? I was like, I'm finna bake macarons. And I literally was like, I'm just going to bake for friends and their parties and stuff like that. And then eventually I was just like, I really enjoyed this. Like I really do. And I still do to this day.
You have your recipe and you started off, like you said, selling to friends and family. Then you began selling them, I believe, at the Cooper Young Community Farmers Market in 2019. Mm-hmm. You even expanded more and did other markets. What exactly did you do to help your expansion?
Basically going into a commercial kitchen, baking at home helped, but you can't produce a lot at home. And because I was growing so fast, I knew I had to take that another step to like go into a kitchen. And that was definitely a turning point, because now you're trying to figure out how to produce more in a short period of time and how to be able to like create more flavors. It's different. When I first started, I had maybe 6.
Right.
Then I was like, I'm getting tired of the same 6. Let me go to 10. And then 10 became 20, and then 20 became 40. And now we have over 100.
Wow. How do you not sit there, all day long and just eat them if they're that good?
I've been cooking them for so long that literally I can just make them and not even taste them. And so often I may try a new recipe and then I'll just say, okay, let me see how this tastes. And then I'll eat a couple. But other than that, no.
What kind of adjustments did you have to make when COVID hit?
Oh, actually, I'm really grateful because COVID didn't actually hurt me.
Great.
It actually helped me. A lot of people wanted to be out of the house because we were just stuck in the house because we had to, quarantine and nobody was allowed to go anywhere, that the farmers markets was the only outlets. And because I was still there selling my macarons, a lot of people didn't know who I was, and they just started shopping, and then they started sharing. And the pandemic is what made me grow tremendously.
It's amazing. I've heard that from other people and other businesses too, especially people were stuck at home and they wanted to get out. And I guess they were still able to have that since it was outdoors, and everything. And people, so many people just wanting to get out and, wanting to spend money that they weren't, doing it. And so that actually, that's great that helped your business. So that something positive, positives did come out of that itself. You've said about yourself, I'm not really simple. What does that mean?
Macarons itself is what we call a bougie cookie. It's not a simple cookie. No matter how many people think it's a simple cookie, it's not a simple cookie. So I'm not a simple person in a way when it comes to baking. Personally, I am, but baking, no. I always want to think outside the box, like what makes Sift different from everyone else? We love colors. We love sprinkles. We love the crazy flavors, the stuff that people would never think that you can make into a cookie, like cheesecake or maple bacon. Like that's what we're doing. And the more that I'm challenging myself to come up with new flavors, the better. Because I'm always challenging myself. I may come up with something and then try to put it together and it doesn't work well with the macaron. So nothing about macarons is simple. So I can't be simple. So yeah.
I think you used to be a logistics specialist, and while you were selling at, different farmers markets, and you continued in that field for a while, and you obviously have a lot of drive and determination inside of you, don't you?
Oh, yes, most certainly. Yes.
Where does that come from?
How I was raised. I've always been like that. I guess I can give my parents that credit. They've always made sure that I was able to do things on my own, like figure life out. I was a young mother very early in my age. I was a mother at 18, so I had to grow up quickly. I had to adjust to life. And I think with that and the hustle and the drive, it helped out tremendously when it came to me working. And I just took the same patterns and just put it into my own business. Everything I've done with like working with someone as an employee, I do with my own business.
You got the recipe down. You started selling at the farmer's market, had success there. You had to come up with a name for your business. And the Sift Bakery is a very unique and creative name. Where did that come from?
Because we have to sift a lot. You have to sift the almond flour. You have to sift the powdered sugar. Like, what else can you come up with? Like, you literally have to sift. Do I sift now? No. But in the beginning, yes. So the name, the Sift Bakery, definitely is what it is. Like, we sift a lot.
Tell us a little bit about some of the different flavors that you have and some of the more popular ones.
Like I said, we have over 100. Our most popular is birthday cake and vanilla bean. Everyone loves the churro, which is cinnamon and sugar and has a caramel center.
Oh my God, that sounds so good.
It is. I can't keep it. It goes so fast. And one of our crazy flavors that people just never expect is our tiramisu. They're kind of like, oh, well, in the macaron, I'm like, yes, like, or our cheesecake. It's the wow when people see the flavors, because they kind of look at it as, I don't know if I'm going to like that. And then they taste and they're like, oh, yes, like, I really do like that. Like, that's really good. Yes.
How did you come up with the different ideas for the flavors?
Pretty much what I like. If I like it, I'm going to try to put it in a cookie, and I just hope that other people like it as well. And I haven't had any issues with it. I know eventually I'm gonna have to stop growing this flavor list because it keeps getting longer and longer and longer. But I think the more I'm able to give variety to customers, the better, because they never know what to expect. And that's what I like. Like, you never know what flavor is going to be on the menu. There's no such thing as we have like a certain rotation. It's almost like if you like something and you see it, you have to grab it, because you just never know when it's going to be back.
So do you have some people that come and buy, so you know what, I've never had one of these before, I want to try one to see how it is, and then they sit there and they try one and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they end up buying a bunch more?
Yes. I have several people like that. I have a lot of people that say they don't like macarons because maybe they just had a bad experience. But I always tell people it's almost like spaghetti. Like it's still the same name, like it's spaghetti, but every spaghetti is not, it doesn't taste the same. So just because you had a bad experience, with someone else, maybe out of town or something like that, that's what any baker, like just give that baker a chance, and you just never know, you might enjoy their product regardless if it's a baker or a restaurant. Like don't just assume that all of it tastes the same, because it doesn't.
And so I bet you've changed a lot of people's minds that didn't have a good experience
Yes.
before.
Yes, I have. Yes. And it's good to see that, because I'm always like, just buy one. I mean, what's a couple of dollars? And then they'll look at me and be like, okay, we need a dozen. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, we'll take care of you.
That's so awesome. As you've continued to grow, some really exciting things are happening for you in your business now. About a month ago, you opened up a retail location in Saddle Creek in Germantown. And, right now I know it's a pop-up testing location to see how things work for you and everything, but this has to be really, really exciting for you and your family.
It is. I knew I would be busy, but I never thought we would be this busy. Um, a lot of people think I'm taking on a lot because we have the pop-up store and we're still doing the markets, and then we're still volunteering and doing other little pop-ups throughout Memphis. But I'm going to go as hard as I can for as long as I can. And as long as I have the support that I've been receiving, then I'm going to show up. But yes, the support we have received from in Saddle Creek area is overwhelming. Like I still can't believe it sometimes how much people just come back and then they share and things of that sort. Like the support is like crazy.
What are some of the future plans that you have for the business?
Um, Eventually having our own space. I really want that because I want to be able to offer more stuff. Even though macarons are our thing right now, I want people to understand that if I can do it in a macaron, just imagine what I could do something else. Like just the my mind is like going too high sometimes. Like I over exceed certain goals that I have for myself, but I'm okay with it. But the most major goal right now, the biggest one, is having our own space, like our own kitchen and all that. Mhm.
You're thinking big.
I have to. I have to. I have to.
What are some of the most important lessons that you've learned in your life?
Be patient. Like, be patient. Don't rush. Because if someone would have told me in 2019, I would be sitting here with a retail spot in 2022, I would have laughed at them and said, no, not me. Like the farmers markets, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm all right with that. Like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And here I am. What a space. And so I just be patient. Like nothing's going to come easy if it's worth having. And no matter how long it takes you, just be patient with the process.
This is really an awesome and inspiring story to start the way you did and to have setbacks. You had them, but you picked yourself back up again. You didn't give up, and you're making it happen now. And what you're doing is just truly amazing. So you should be really proud of yourself. I know your husband has to be really proud of you.
He is. He is.
How can people find you online?
Our social media handles, Instagram at the Sift Bakery and Facebook Sift Bakery. That's pretty much it. We're kind of on TikTok, but not really. But definitely social media would be the two handles would be Instagram and Facebook.
And that's where we found each other on Instagram, and that's when
Mhm.
I saw it and started looking at the cookies and started looking into more. I said, this is definitely a story that needed to be shared a little bit more. So this is really awesome. And to let everybody know, make sure they the Sift Bakery, it's located at 7509 Poplar Avenue in Saddle Creek in Germantown. I believe you're open Wednesday and Thursday from 10 to 4. Is that correct?
No, we had to change that.
Okay, so I'm glad. Okay, I'll let
Yes,
you explain.
yes,
Tell your hours.
yes, because the demand is so crazy. We need more baking hours. It's Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4, and
Okay.
Sunday is 12 to 4.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, because I wasn't going to say that because that's not what I saw online. So I'm glad that you said that there. So that lots of hours. You obviously have a couple of days there of a little bit. I would say, are you getting a break at all on Monday and Tuesday, or are you just baking?
No, I'm literally baking 7 days a week. But I have a small team behind me, and hopefully we'll add more people and give some of us some off days. But yes, we're definitely baking 7 days a week, just trying to keep up with the demand.
From seeing all the pictures online and the cooking and the videos and stuff, it makes me hungry. Number one, I can't eat that stuff right now, but it makes me, I probably could come eat one. I can, anybody that says, even if they're watching what they eat, you can at least come out and try one, but I would have to leave immediately because I know if I had one, that I would want to keep buying more. So I recommend, if you haven't gone out to the bakery, go on social media at the Sift Bakery on Instagram and see what is going on, because I can guarantee you that, just like she said, you're going to go out and have one, and then you're going to end up buying a half a dozen or a dozen more for your family. If you share it with your family, you probably might eat them all on the way home, but
Yes.
they're that good and everything. And I can't wait to try them. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on today. This has been very exciting. I love hearing about, positive people doing great things in the community and a new business and everything. And this is just, like I said, a very inspiring story.
I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you reaching out.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.